and gentlemen, welcome to Dota 2 update for the week of June 13th, 2011. And oh boy, it's going to be hard to follow up last week when we got the leak of a lifetime in terms of Dota 2, at least in the short lifespan that it's had. We haven't had any news like last time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out last week's Dota 2 update. There was a huge leak. Anyways, this week looks like we're back to the drought. We don't have too much going on. However, I do have a nice little segment planned for today that's going to be pretty cool, I think. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a small wrap up and compile a list of the current and planned Dota genre games. A term has been floating around calling these games the MOBA genre, which is either multiplayer online battle arena or massively online battle arena. I'm not sure which one, but whatever, they're pretty much the same anyways. So I'm going to talk about, introduce these titles like LoL and HON and other titles that you might not be familiar with and how they're going to be impacted when Dota 2 comes out. So we're going to have a little discussion about that. The first two titles this week, I'm separating them first by chronological order, and also it happened to turn out this way, but each week we have one title that you guys are very familiar with, like LoL or HON or Dota 2, and one title that you guys are less familiar with, like Demigod, Realm of Titans, and Rise of the Immortals. So it works out. So here we go. So for this week, we're going to cover the two of the first games that came out in this MOBA genre. The very first game was Demigod, which is a video game developed by Gas Powered Games and was the first released standalone title in the Dota genre. And this was released for Windows. I gotta say, out of all the games in the MOBA genre, this game is probably the most unique because of its user interface and its gameplay. Its gameplay has similarities, of course, to the original Dota. That's why it's kind of a spin-off, and all these games are sort of spin-offs. However, the user interface, I think, is one of the things that didn't do them much good because it's very, very foreign to someone who played Dota. And at the time of this game's release, most of the audience they wanted was probably Dota players that wanted a better experience. I mean, if you haven't played a game like this, it's a little bit tough to get into at first. And for Dota players transitioning into a game like this, it's definitely a bit strange. I mean, things are not really where you expect them to be, and I think that really threw off a lot of their potential audience base and could be a reason why they're not too successful. And it didn't really get great reviews. That's probably why nobody knows about it. This game is pretty much, I don't know how many people play, but I haven't heard anybody really play this game. I didn't even know about this game until I started researching this, so I mean, it's probably safe to say that when Dota 2 comes out, this game is going to get blown out of the water. However, what do you guys think? You know, could this game have a chance? I really don't think so. It's got mediocre game reviews and a mediocre gamer base, so yep. And our second MOBA genre game, the second one to come out in chronological order, League of Legends in May 2010 by Riot Games. You guys all know this game. This is probably the most successful MOBA game in terms of player base, and I'm pretty sure they have the biggest revenue because they have the in-game store and all that stuff. You can buy champions, and if you're listening to this, you probably either have tried it or definitely have heard about it, so doesn't need too much of an intro. And I believe that LoL is actually going to be one of the games that stands strong against the tidal wave that is going to be Dota 2, because of course it's free, and unless Dota 2 is going to be free, I mean, they're really not going to worry too much about when Dota 2 comes out. And it's not a revelation that LoL might be the least effective game. However, I've also heard people say that LoL is like the doorway into Dota 2. People who are playing LoL now, they're going to get so into this genre, into this game, that they're actually priming the audience for Dota 2. What do you guys think about that? Could LoL actually help the audience of Dota 2 by getting people in the door for free, you know, trying out this genre and like, wow, this is so awesome. What's the best game? What's a better game I could play? Dota 2. They buy Dota 2 and Dota 2 wins in the end. What do you guys think about that? One thing I gotta say though, the LoL marketing strategy has been amazing. I mean, they put out these YouTube videos. They really know how to establish their community base, and that's the most important part of game. You see games like StarCraft 2 with Team Liquid, that community supporting it. Dota, there's Dota communities all over the place. Communities keep games alive long after their publishers have ditched them. I mean, just look at StarCraft Brood War. Holy crap. Blizzard doesn't even care about that game anymore, but in Korea, the community keeps it alive. And Riot Games really knows this. They put out amazing trailers, do great stuff for the community. So much of their success and much of their sort of solidness in their game really owes itself to the brilliant marketing strategies of Riot Games. And in other news, there is no other news because Valve has not released any other news, officially at least, for almost half a year, 8 months, whatever now. We've only got that huge leak last time, and that was a leak, and Valve did not like that because we saw them take it down an hour afterwards. And hint Valve, HON is having some issues right now. I mean, if you were to release some hype right now, it could really knock people over the fence to the Dota 2 side. Hint. Alright, so that's about it for Dota 2 update for the week of June 13th, 2011. And while we tough out this drought of official Dota 2 news, I'm gonna go play myself some Dota and HON, and I'll see you guys next time.